Wolves are still working on an agreement to land their next manager after parting ways with Vitor Pereira following a disastrous start to the season. Pereira's side lost 3-0 to Fulham last time out, in a game which ultimately proved to be his last off the back of a huge 3-2 defeat to Burnley, which ramped up the pressure. Wolves remain winless in the Premier League after 10 games, having picked up just 2 points in that spell, and face a trip to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea on Saturday. However, they are hopeful that the appointment of a new manager can kickstart a turnaround in their fortunes as it did last season when Pereira was appointed. A number of high-profile managers are being considered for the role, with Brendan Rodgers and Erik ten Hag among the favourites in the early stages of their search. Former Man United chief scout Mick Brown told Football Insider on 4 November that Wolves have spoken to Ten Hag's representatives about taking over from Pereira. As I revealed on the latest edition of Football Insider's Inside Track podcast, the 55-year-old is interested in speaking to Wolves about the job, and contact has already been made at Molineux to assess the possibility of him taking over. While there are still doubts about whether he will become the next Wolves manager, and the club are still assessing other options, Ten Hag is firmly in the running. Speaking on the Inside Track podcast, I explained, I didn't think Ten Hag would have the job at the top of his priority list, coming in for a relegation battle. It'd be a huge coup for Wolves if they were able to land him. Obviously there has been contact made with Ten Hag's representatives to gauge his interests, and it does seem that he would be interested in a chat with Wolves about the job. Ten Hag will have other options, and obviously Wolves are exploring other options as well. Talk is that they're looking at a younger head coach as well. So that might count against Ten Hag as well in that respect. Despite holding talks over the position, all parties are considering alternative options, with Wolves building a short list of candidates to take over at Molineux. Rob Edwards in line to accept Wolves' job offer. Alongside Ten Hag, Middlesbrough manager Rob Edwards has emerged as one of the leading candidates in Wolves' efforts to replace Pereira. Football Insider revealed on 6 November that Wolves are in talks with Edwards over the possibility of taking over at Molineux in the coming weeks. However, despite contact between Edwards and Wolves, there is currently no agreement in place for the Middlesbrough boss to take over at Molineux. Football Insider revealed on 6 November that Edwards is very keen on the Wolves job and would be willing to discuss terms should they make a move. Edwards played for Wolves 111 times between 2004 and 2008, and also worked in their academy setup and as a first-team coach under Kenny Jackett.